interview is actually with an artist that is with a local artist named KT. She makes jewelry. She's a silversmith is the actual term for what she does. She uses a process called brazing and not exactly soldering. I mean, she uses butane torches to create jewelry. Well, her work was featured in the recent film Caddo Lake, an M. Night Shyamalan produced production that was filmed here in the area and in the Caddo Lake area. And her jewelry that she created actually became a focal point in the story. And she talks to us about how she ended up becoming involved in creating in the film in general, and then how she got involved in actually creating the jewelry for the directors. So it's an interesting conversation. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Definitely check her out on Facebook. She's also on Instagram, and that stuff will be on the article when I post it. So let me go ahead and take you guys over to watch that. Enjoy. Hello, I'm Brittney Hazelton, and this is ArkLaTex Artistry, where we explore the arts in our area. Today, we have an artist who worked on the new M. Night Shyamalan produced movie, Caddo Lake. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is KTea Callahan. I'm also known as Kate Callahan, but my artist name is KT. I'm a jewelry designer, metalsmith, and a musician. And I just do a lot of different artsy stuff, but those are my two main things.
All right. So let's go ahead and start off with the big question. What was your role in the production of the movie Caddo Lake, and what was your experience like?
So my role was costume production assistant. So I did a lot of different things behind the scenes. I did a lot of returns of clothes. I did a lot of the accounting
Hmm.
for the returns and the purchases. And then I also ran clothes back and forth to the set. And then I also was asked to make the jewelry by the directors that the movie's based around.
All right. So if anyone has seen the movie, the jewelry, especially the cancer symbol
Yes.
amulet, right?
Yeah.
So what went into making that specific piece of jewelry?
So the directors had a meeting with me and they told me that they had chose the cancer symbol for many reasons, but mainly with the water and the symbol, it looks like everything's connected. It's kind of like a yin yang.
Mm-hmm.
And they were really interested in having this piece made and they wanted it to look like handmade, but also kind of old.
Mm-hmm.
And they had been trying to shop for a pendant on Amazon and they realized this isn't going to work out. This is all machine made. And I was like, I can make you something. And so we sat down and actually have like the little papers that we wrote on with all the
Oh,
different symbols. And they were kind of like trying to draw out here. You can see like they had one that was completely connected, and
yeah.
then one that was more rounded. And then this is like the basic one they ended up with. And they had me make six different styles of pendants. So like this is like the round one
Oh
that
yeah.
was
That's
made.
cool.
And then later on we went into different textures and different styles, and this is kind of
Oh.
similar to the one that ended up being made. And after they had decided on the design, they were so excited. They were like, this is exactly what we envisioned.
That's
And
awesome.
I was super excited about that because that's kind of what I do for a living. I make custom jewelry mainly, so super exciting.
I'm really happy that they chose to get it made by an actual artist instead
Yeah,
of just some, metal cut piece of jewelry. They actually supported a local artist to actually create something that's awesome. I had seen a few of the photos of the different prototypes that you had made on your page on Facebook, and I thought that was really cool that you
Thank
got
you.
the experience to put your stuff out on a. I saw the movie. It's crazy. Not gonna give any. We're not gonna be those people, but it was a crazy movie. Me and my husband, we loved it. It's really cool that we had a lot of, from what I understand, quite a few local people were involved in the production of it. Um,
Yes, a lot of people. The seamstress was local, and her husband's business is next door upholstery. And then a lot of the crew was either locally from here or from surrounding areas, like really close by. And then our costume designers were amazing. One was from Spain, Begonia, and the other
oh,
one was from Germany. And they were both so amazing,
oh,
and they were really focused on trying to get as much locally sourced costumes as well. Like they went shopping everywhere locally, like at
oh.
thrift stores, and then they would purchase vintage clothing off of like eBay for the other scenes. And they were really adamant on supporting other people, supporting local places as much as possible, which was super cool.
That is really cool. Especially with big names tied to something like that, it's nice to have in the area. I think
Yeah.
we're hoping Shreveport keeps doing these kind of productions, in the
Yeah.
like movie or scene. And so, how did you end up working on such a cool project like this?
So it's really wild. It's very much so how my life has been. It's kind of like I just run into amazing opportunities sometimes when I put it out there. And I had just left Austin, Texas. I was living in my camper van, and I decided to come back to my hometown. And for a couple weeks, I stayed with a friend, and he told me that somebody had posted about M. Night Shyamalan film was hiring and to send him a message. And so I got on Facebook and realized I knew this person,
Oh,
and I messaged her, and then she gave me the number to one of the main men in the film who was running everything. His name was Tony. And Tony decided from my resume that I would be a really great fit for the costume department.
oh, that's awesome.
So then the costume department head of that, Shannon, she had to interview me, and she told me out of all the interviews, no one could make jewelry, and that was
Yeah,
something really big for the movie. So she chose me
it
because of
was
that.
like fated. You were the perfect person for that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Okay, so tell me about your jewelry making. What all goes into the process of making your metal jewelry?
So there's a lot of equipment. Um, it can look really intimidating from the outside, but there's many different forms of silversmithing. What I do is considered brazing, and some people like to call it soldering, but that's very different. It's a different technique and different temperatures. So I use a butane torch like you would to make creme brulee or something,
Yeah.
and instead of a propane because I can't have that in my apartment. But I use that, and then I have different picks and tools to take sterling silver solder, or well, that's what they call the sterling silver. It's sterling silver solder, and then you basically cut out pieces of metal. So I start with a sheet. Sometimes I have rounded wire,
Hmm.
and it's kind of like building a 3D puzzle.
Oh,
And then you solder those little pieces together where the metal touches where you want it to. And it's a lot of sanding and shaping. And then after the piece has been fired, it goes into a whole other process of sanding all the scratches out and all of the little areas where you can see the seams. And then you do a final polish, which can take multiple steps depending on what kind of polish you want. And and then if you have a stone in it, then I set the stone, and that's another process as well.
yeah, I'm sure. I've seen some videos of people making like setting stones and like the very meticulous, especially when the smaller the stones, like very meticulous work. Like
Yeah,
that's
especially diamonds.
Oh yeah, I would imagine that's really cool. I've only like vaguely made jewelry out of like my stuff is only like little wood, and I like wood burn little designs
Oh, I love
into
that.
them, and then I get them to hang with, you know. But that's really like the bare minimum I've ever done when it comes to jewelry. I've always admired the people that can do the amazing metal work and all the wire wrapping that some people do. Like I can't.
Yeah.
I've tried wrapping wire and I'm just not patient enough, I guess.
It does take a lot of patience. That's how I started 12 years ago was wire wrapping, and it was absolutely terrible. And um, then I started to get deeper into it, and I realized I don't have patience for this really intricate style work to move
Yes.
up having higher end pieces. And so then eventually I wanted to make like what I saw as Native American style jewelry. And then I went on a deep dive and figured out what silversmithing was. But I found silversmithing to be very easy. So that's what's really funny is that there's so many different mediums of jewelry. And, like some people think, resin work can be really easy. I've done it, but I'm afraid to get it all over me. So it's like I only do it so much. So some people are really good with that. It's really interesting how there's a type of jewelry for everyone. And I love all the jewelry that exists.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've played with resin a bit. I actually have did. That is one thing I forgot. I have made little resin pieces and did resin pours for like bigger things too. So
Yeah.
I get. Well, that's really cool. How about you? You mentioned you do music. What kind of music do you do?
So I play very like folk-like and soulful kind of music, just based on the sound I have. But I play a wide range of music when I do covers. I'll do anything from Casey and the Sunshine Band disco to Johnny Cash, like old country, and I love Bob Dylan, and there's so many artists that I love, and I love playing old Christmas music. So I used
Oh,
to book shows all around town. I took a break for a year, but I would play at different restaurants and just play like nice, soothing background music.
that's cool. That's cool. I wish I had the musical talents that some of the musicians we have in our city have, and I respect I respect it. I have never been able to learn music. I've tried so many instruments and so many different things. It's just not within my artistic ability, I suppose. But we'll definitely so when I wanted to ask you, what advice would you give others wanting to learn jewelry making?
Yes, so basically, there's a million different ways to learn. I'm self-taught, but I had magical moments along the way. Like I met a silversmith after I decided I wanted to, and it was a really wild situation how I met her, and she showed me one thing on how to solder a link, but then I decided to do research on the internet. So there's tons of free videos out there to learn any type of jewelry making. But I know some people are hands-on. I personally used to do in-person lessons,
Oh,
and sometimes that can be a great way to learn, especially if the person isn't fully out there like I was, and I'm charging a lower amount than most workshops. But then there's workshops, there's different workshops all around. If you live like us, we live close to Dallas. So there's plenty of workshops close to us with all the major cities around us. I lived in Ohio in the middle of nowhere when I learned, so I had to just do what I could. And I personally am about to release an online silversmithing course to teach just how to like solder a simple sterling silver ring. And that's kind of what got me started. Once I got that down, I was able to just watch videos everywhere because, like you said, there's all these, making videos on
oh yeah.
social media. If you know how to do what they're doing on a basic level, you can easily start trying new techniques and stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome. If you get that, you release a video like that for a workshop or something like that. let me know. I can make an article for it, or we can talk again about it, and
For sure.
try to get some people that experience so that they can start creating their own jewelry. I'm probably will be interested in it because
Yeah.
silversmithing sounds fun. I like learning a lot of different arts. Very mixed media person. So I'm definitely interested.
Yeah, I've thought about doing like I've seen this multiple times online, like workshops where couples can come in and make jewelry for each other, or like just families or like, mother like and their children, or just best friends coming in and making jewelry together for themselves.
Oh.
The thing I have to work on is investing and having a little bit more, like a couple more stations of equipment, and then I could do a couple at a time. But it's so cool because it's like alchemy, and you're like, I was really bad at science and math, but I was kind of good at chemistry. So when I got into silversmithing, I was like, I feel like a mad scientist.
I understand that feeling. I'm like that. I like do a lot of the herbal teas and
Ooh, yeah,
stuff, and like blendable like smokable herbs. They're like like
yeah,
lavender and lemon balm mixtures, and I like to make them. I always feel like I'm alchemist every time. I got little bottles with the different herbs and what their properties supposed what they
yeah.
do, and I have a bunch of those glass vials with them, and I just mix them up on
I
with
love
my little. So I love that feeling of I'm an alchemist,
Yeah, me too.
But that sounds fun. I will probably ask you about me and my husband doing that. I think he would enjoy some making some jewelry too.
Yeah.
He likes those kinds of things as well. So, all right. Well, how can any people that are interested follow you, your social media, so that when you do these things, that they can keep track of it and maybe join in?
Yeah, so all of my social media is the same, and my website. It's it's all one word because it's social media. So it's KTEA jewelry. And some people spell jewelry different, but it's JEWELRY. And for my website, it's .com. And then I have a TikTok, I have Instagram, and a Facebook page.
So all under that name
Yeah.
generally. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. Is there anything else you'd like to say to our viewers?
Um, I am just so grateful I moved back to Shreveport.
Oh,
And I really do love Shreveport, and I'm so grateful for all the artists we have here. And I just love watching people continue to follow their passions. And my one thing I'd want to share is to just don't give up on your dreams and keep climbing because the possibilities are endless.
well, I think it's a great gift for Shreveport that we have you moving back here. You
Yeah.
know, we need to keep as much talent as we can here, and I think a lot of it's blossoming a lot more recently, and
Yes.
we need to just keep sharing the arts here and showing people how much talent we have here.
Yeah, I have some artists locally here
Yeah,
behind me
I
too, 'cause
see that.
we're all-
I see Paige Powell right there.
Yeah, and I got
Uh,
yeah, I
is
have
that Whitney Tate right
yeah,
there?
that's Whitney,
That's awesome. I was looking at those when I got in. I was like, I see some local art. All right, thank you so much for talking to me. Anytime you're doing workshops or you have events coming up, let me know, and I'll at least write an article for it, or maybe we can interview again.
Thank you so much. This has been amazing.
All right, you take care, Katie.
You too. Thank you.
All right, so that was my interview with KT Callahan. Definitely check out her work. So I'm going to be posting an article in a little bit with this full of interviews, so you can rewatch it if you want, or you can share it with your friends. Um, in that article, I'm going to be posting a lot of pictures, some pictures she had from the set, from the scene of the actual movie, um, which are really cool pictures. Also, some pictures of her work so you can get an idea of the things that she makes. They're really beautiful pieces of jewelry. They are art pieces of their own. Um, Thank you guys for hanging out and talking to me. Well, letting me talk, letting me ramble. Um, there we got this new setup now. So like I said, hopefully we can get some actual guests in the building and you can actually see them here with me and we can have a live interactive moments. Um, Also, if you have any story ideas or you have an artist that you would like me to cover, or an art event or an art organization that you would like me to cover, or anything creative, there's a lot of different types of art out there. I include food. Food is an art. Music's an art. Performance is an art. Theater is an art. So if you think it might be an art, I probably think it's an art too in its own way. So if you have a story idea, you can find me under Brittney period Hazelton at KSLA.com, spelled just like it is on the screen right there. So you email me, let me know, hey, I have an idea, and send me some links, send me some pictures if you're an artist and you wanna show off your art to me, and maybe we can get you on. Let me look at your art. Let me see what you make. Tell me about yourself a little bit. Additionally, you can find my articles on KSLA.com under community and ArkLaTex Artistry. So that's where all my articles are. If you just want to watch videos, you can find my videos on YouTube. If you look at KSLA's YouTube page and look under the playlist, look for ArkLaTex Artistry's playlist. We have over 50 something videos in there right now, I think. It's a lot of videos. And you can look under the podcast section on our website as well to find my video list. You can find us on our streams, any stream app that we have: Roku, Apple, Android, TV, all KSLA or News 12 Now is the name of the app. So you can check us out there as well. So I'll be here again next Saturday. I have a pretty interesting interview that I'm going to show you guys next Saturday with the Vampire Court of Shreveport, which is a cool subcultural group that is local. And we talk about the amount of artistry that goes into living their lifestyle and the artists that they have in their group, which they have actually quite a few, from what I understand, of artists that are local here that make local crafts. You may have seen them if you've been to any of the local events. They themselves, as an organization, has gotten very involved in the community. They've been doing blood drives with the Life Share Blood Center, so they're doing some good work. So that'll be. I look forward to showing you guys the interview. It was a good conversation with Jamie Fisher. He's the king of the Vampire Court here in Shreveport. All right. Well, thank you again, guys, for talking to me. And remember, try to support our artists. It doesn't matter if you don't have the money to buy a piece. What you can do is something as simple as commenting when they post something, or sharing their art, and maybe somebody else that can afford to buy their art will be interested in buying their art. We want to support our local artists all across the ArkLaTex. And the best way to do that is to, even just the little things matter. Thank you guys so much again. I look forward to talking to you next Saturday at noon. All right. Bye, guys.